All right. Well, welcome, Suzanne. So, I'm going to give our uh, audience a little bit about you so they understand, they've gotten a little teaser about what you do. But let me kind of go into detail. Nice little bio that you sent me. So, I appreciate that. So, Suzanne is a seasoned coach with over a decade of experience helping women transform their lives. For the past 2 years, she has dedicated her expertise to love and attraction coaching, empowering women to attract and cultivate deep, lasting relationships. Suzanne's approach blends mindset work, emotional intelligence, integrative strategies, and feminine energy embodiment, guiding her clients to break unhealthy patterns and step into their most magnetic, authentic selves. Her work has helped countless women navigate dating with confidence, clarity, and self worth, ensuring they don't just find love, but create a relationship that truly fulfills them. Passionate about dating and the power of intentional attraction, Suzanne creates content that inspires women to actively manifest the love they desire. And when she's not coaching, Suzanne loves snuggling with her cats, hiking, and adventuring with the love of her life, David. It sounds very nice, honestly. So, welcome, welcome. It's nice to see you. No one really will know this, but we had to reschedule, but life happens. And, you know, um, the funny thing is, this will still air at the same time it was going to. So, yay! The joy of technology and recording earlier than you actually have it go live. So, well, I sent you some questions, and just to have the audience get to kind of know you and a little bit, what got you, really into coaching and a few other things. And then just to let you know, I do have 3 questions that I will ask you that you were not able to prepare for. So these will truly be on the spot questions for you, but that's okay. You know, everyone has done great. So we will get started. So, what inspired you to get into coaching in your specific area? And how did you know that this was the right niche for you? Awesome. So, what do you find? That's great. I mean, I like that you have such, I mean, I love that you have such a specific niche. And it's just like, um, I mean, I wouldn't expect a coach doing what you do. I would assume that a woman, and this isn't being sexist in any way, I just think it works better and more comfortable that a woman be able to help a woman with possible dating issues compared to like myself helping a woman. Like, no, that's just not going to work. um, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah, and I didn't even think, I was like, yeah, getting that male perspective or what, is not necessarily a bad thing. Um, cuz yeah, we're weird. Um
Mine's right. So
yes.
the angles is really helpful. I think, I really do try to think objectively. I'm a Libra, okay? So I think objectively, really like what it would look like, to the masculine man. I also, of course,
Mhm.
my partner, David, is such a huge help. I'm like, what do you think about this? Or let me pick your brain about this. And he's done a ton of research and he has a growth mindset as well. And so, he helps me
Awesome.
out if I ever am like, well, what is this guy thinking? But really it's nice to have kind of that 360 perspective of what's really happening on both sides because it can be so convoluted sometimes and so confusing for both parties.
I would agree. So, what do you find most rewarding as well as most challenging about working with clients in your niche?
I think the most rewarding is when one of my clients has a breakthrough and like a big breakthrough. Maybe they actually are like, you know what? I am going to go out tonight. I am dressed like this. I feel confident and magnetic, and I'm ready to really, just see what happens and be proactive and participate in this thing called life. And practice my non-RBF, you know. So just the resting bothered face, as I think someone else called it. Yeah, so I love that energy when they're just like, I'm just gonna step into it and say yes. So that's super exciting for me. Of course, when they find love, that also is, the most rewarding thing. Because they've
Well,
reached
of course.
their
Yeah.
goal and they're really, able to be somewhere where they didn't think it was possible in the beginning. So many women I talk to, they just don't think it's possible. And then just to really see them flip that entirely and create the reality they want. And as far as the alternative goes, the hardest part is when women can't really get over that first hurdle with believing it is possible. They want to
Hmm.
believe, so maybe, we start working together. But they don't take the actions necessary to really get out of their comfort zone and to make it a reality. Coaching, and I'm sure we'll talk about it later too, but coaching it's a two-person process.
Yeah.
There's the coach and the coachee, and in order to coach someone, they need to be participating. So I think that's the hardest part is knowing that they have so much potential and just not taking the actions.
Yeah, I would agree. I would think the biggest, yeah, it's a two-way, you have to be willing, as we know, you have to, like, we want our clients to be open and willing to change, to make those changes, to be open to what we have to tell them
Yeah.
and what our advice is. And I think that when they do that is when you have those, most rewarding results. They finally like, okay, wow, it clicked. I got it. That makes sense. Now I'm going to go forward and do this. And I
Absolutely.
think that's so huge. And like you said, talking about David, like it was, like you said, like he has a growth mindset, which is good because I think that's what honestly we all need to have, and that's what our clients need to have because that's how they're going to grow, and that's how we're going to grow, and
Yes.
even in our coaching businesses. So
And relationships too.
yes.
Yeah.
Can you share one transformative experience with a client that really, really illustrated or illustrates the power of coaching?
Okay. I have a few in mind. Okay. One of my clients, she's actually working with me now. Her name, we'll just call her Gabby. That's not her real name, but I didn't get her permission, so I'm not gonna say it.
Completely fine.
Yeah, but she came to me, and it's so funny because she was one of the ones, she was so ready to say yes. In fact, she almost talked me into coaching together. I was like, oh, this is the best meeting I've ever had. The best invitation. I think she even made me cry on the consultation. It was beautiful. Anyway, but she was so ready. She was just like, I need to make this change right now. Whatever I need to do, I am here for it. Let's go. And I think it was that gung-ho attitude that really got her so far. And there were multiple breakthroughs for her. You know, she went from kind of dumping on people where like you overshare and almost dare them to reject you.
Mm-hmm.
She was very loud and overbearing, just objectively, as Gabby. And basically she was unintentionally pushing men away. And it was a subconscious protective mechanism because she had an abusive relationship with that. And to really dive into what was happening, what she was really afraid of, move those fears out of the way, break through those barriers, so she is comfortable not just with a person, in that role again, but with herself. That was so huge. And, we had a few breakthroughs, like I said. One of them was also around her body image. It's not the, I love body positivity and all of that. I think we are all beautiful the way we are. And I also think it's our responsibility to take care of us. And when we are moving our body, it doesn't matter what it looks like, but when we're moving our body, that feels good. And so we found out that, she was really protecting herself by having just with eating, with not moving, and it was keeping her safe because, people weren't coming on to her. No one wanted to, people would ghost her on the ass. And so to really break through that and to help her with that realization, she started going to Orange Theory. Yay. And it doesn't matter. Looks do not matter. But the energy that she brought, the energy that she brings still is incredible. And she actually recently started seeing a gentleman, and he is treating her the way that she deserves to be treated. And it's so wonderful. This is all convoluted, I know, but I think it was literally the day before she was talking to this guy that was just not good, and all of it just not good. Not good for her. Tons of red flags. We really talked it out. She ended up just being like, no, this isn't good for me. And she made a very empowering move to cut him off. The next day is when she met this gentleman. So it just, it can happen just like that. It's so magical.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So, I've been there. I've been there where I've protected myself, because having had like rejection before, and it really does. Just coming from the male perspective, it does hurt. Like when you're like rejected and you're like, wait, what did I do? Like, especially if it comes like in a blindsides you, you're like, wait, what happened? What happened? In the end, obviously things were, where I am now. I've been with my partner 11 years. So clearly that person, that rejected me back then, it didn't matter because now I'm in a better place. So
one rejection closer to your person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you see the coaching industry evolving, especially for new or even unconventional niches?
I think we've already seen it. You see on Instagram or Facebook that everyone's just getting much more specific with what they're actually hoping for. When life coaching first started, right, it was just, I'm a life coach, whatever that meant.
Exactly. Yeah.
I help you somehow. And so really like finding these very specific areas where we're able to tailor this experience to that person, it's huge because it's way more effective. We're just not flopping around, like, oh, well, try this or this. We're really getting to the bottom of what's happening for them in this area. And if that's the one area that, is really blocking them, it will level up all the other areas of their lives as well. So it's just like different angles, really that I see just blossoming even more, thanks to social media. And I also, I wouldn't be surprised if AI did come. I know ChatGPT is a thing. I joke about it being my therapist because we all need someone to talk to. Um, you know, and I know there have been multiple companies that have started out having in-person coaches and they switched over to AI. You know, I think ultimately there is something that is so irreplaceable about talking to another human, you know,
Yeah,
and
I 100% agree. Yeah.
yeah, and I think like, you know, who knows what will happen with AI, but really like knowing that the other person is there for you, like an actual person is there for you, fighting for you, and being an advocate for you in your best life. I think that's just that's the magic of it, you know, and really connecting with them on a deeper level. I don't think that could happen with AI, but I mean, who knows? I don't know. Knock on wood.
No, I agree with you. I think because I was actually talking with a fellow coach friend of ours, Jane, earlier, and we were talking about ChatGPT and how it has no emotion.
Yeah.
Like ChatGPT doesn't. I mean, AI doesn't have emotion, so you have to give it when you want some emotion written into about content or whatever it might be. So I think having the true human interaction, the one-on-one conversations or possible group. Obviously, there's coaches that do group coaching, but I think that at the end of the day, we still need the human interaction. It's kind of like with just even how AI is taking over certain aspects of certain businesses, but I really think that we're still going to always need that human.
Yeah.
We
I mean,
can't
I
get
hope
away
so.
of it.
Man, you know, I go to the coffee shop. I want to talk to a person. That is like why I go to the coffee shop. I don't really go there for the coffee or the tea. I just go and I'm like, hi, I want an interaction. And it's always so disappointing if you've ever gone to like one of those boba tea shops and you like have to like, you know, order on a screen. It's like this isn't what I want.
Yeah.
This isn't part of the experience or, you know, that I'm hoping for. You know, I think that's so true and it's connecting. Like we humans we want and need to connect with others and knowing that someone's been there or been in a similar situation or knows how to help you get out of that
Hmm.
stuck place. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, it's funny because the other day I was picking up coffee. I kind of wish I had actually gone in and given them the order, but
Yeah.
it was hilarious because they actually wrote on the cup, which made me feel really old, by the way, because it just said "Ice Ice Baby" because it was an iced coffee, and I thought it was just hilarious that it was like, being a child of like the 80s, that actually totally fits for like 80s, and that because that was high school, that was that time frame that would work for me.
Yeah.
But for I didn't even know that barista. Like I mean, obviously we moved like 3 months ago, so we have a completely different like coffee shops we're going to now than we were before. So we haven't been able to create that rapport, with
Yeah.
this, those in the coffee shop yet.
I don't
But
know.
it
That
was
sounds like they did something right there.
I would assume they
Oh,
did. So yeah, they did do something that's kind of funny without them knowing.
yeah.
But now I'm hoping that they're going to keep doing it. If and when I order, typically I like to make my coffee on my own at home, but um, we changed grocery stores, so I had to change creamers. We're trying to be healthier.
Yeah. Good for
Um,
you. Yeah.
so I'm trying to do, and I had this conversation with a fellow coach of ours, Shelly, because she does weight loss for
Yes.
women, and we were talking, and she loves her coffee, and she's always talking about coffee.
Yeah.
And I even mentioned, I'm like, going, I need a good, healthier creamer that still has the sweetness in it because I have to have the sweet. I got that sweet. I have that sweet tooth from my dad. It's my mom does definitely not have it. Sister kind of does, but I definitely have it.
Yeah.
So,
You're
but
not
it
alone.
was funny, and so because we started going to a different kind of healthier grocery store only because there was a big strike for one of the big grocery stores here,
Mm.
and so my partner and I decided we're going to go to this grocery store now. And it's just the funny thing is it's a lot more affordable, which is interesting, because it's a lot healthier for you.
Yeah.
It's not Whole Foods. I would
Yeah.
say it's actually cheaper than Whole Foods, but yet kind of it's the same quality.
Hmm.
I always kind of find it a little funny when you spend that much money on Whole Food stuff, because it's like, wait, I could go and get that. We have a Whole Foods. We have many Whole Foods here, but they have one that used to be a Whole Foods, then it closed, and now it's called Ideal Market. It's a Whole Foods, like it's owned by them.
Yeah.
So you'll find like the 360 brand, whatever. You'll find their brands in there, but it's just a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this other one that we're now going to, just because it's giving us great advice, and they have really, really good alternatives for things that we thought we needed to have.
Yeah. Breakthrough.
Yes, definite breakthrough.
Yeah.
So, one more question that you were actually able to prepare for. So what advice would you give to someone considering hiring a coach for either personal or professional growth, regardless of the niche?
Do it. Do it. Okay. All jokes aside, do it. And the reason being this: we all have we all have blind spots, right? You go to the gym, you think you're doing it right. You are not. That was me at CrossFit yesterday. I was trying to do a pike push-up. It was not a pike push-up, and I learned that halfway through the workout. And I was like, oh, that's way harder, though. Coach approached me. I was like, oh, okay, that's okay. But really, we all have these blind spots that we don't even notice we're doing, or there's something that, we haven't realized about that, the other side of things, whether it's, like what people are looking for in regards to hiring, right? Or in this case, for my case, what the men are actually looking for. What are they noticing? What do they see?
Yeah.
It's so necessary to have someone to really support you in that way. It really is. I will say I love being coached. I am very coachable. I know that's how you and I met as well, but I think Tony Robbins is really the thing that started me on it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had that first breakthrough, I was addicted. I was like, yes, like, let's go. Tell me more. My life doesn't have to be like this. I can create my life. It was just such an eye-opening experience. And to just have that, to think that something wasn't possible, and then to believe that it is, even if it's just for that, that's why you get coached. Do it! Level up your life.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you 100%. And it's so funny. I mean, after talking with all our fellow coaches that we know together, everyone has said, you need to do it. Like, there's no reason not to do it. I mean, it's so much I think you get a different perspective. I mean, I know, I had a coach, in the program, how we met, and it was nice to be able to have someone see me from a different angle that I hadn't seen before.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, okay, I get that now. I mean, I still even remember early on doing like a practice consultation call, and it was so funny because I was told, wow, you're talking really fast, number one, and you're not really listening. And I was like, oh, okay. But I took that to heart, because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be like this at all with clients. And so getting started, and then once I did it, I actually had a friend of mine who I did a little practice with, whatever, and she said, I really appreciated that you wrote down what I was saying. Like, you actually brought up, when you were doing your recap, you really said, hey, this is this, gave the examples of what I'd given earlier. And I was like, well, that is kind of my job as a coach, to listen. I mean, we all have a certain basic, script that we might say to our clients. But when it really comes to it, it is all about us listening to what their needs are.
Yeah.
And so I know that even for me personally, when I had I swam competitively from like age 8 to 18, and I had 4 different coaches. And I can say that I knew that if I didn't listen to them, I wasn't going to be able to excel in how I wanted to, be. I wanted, and I had some truly talented coaches. Like one of my last coaches coached 3 Olympians. So I knew that they knew what they were doing, because if they can coach someone to make the Olympics and succeed at the Olympics, then obviously I probably should listen to them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like people, I mean, there's so many different coaches out there, but I mean, obviously, nice. I like that. Like for me, like you just said, like Tony Robbins is hugely inspiring. And obviously I would say really kind of led the way for the whole life coaching. And so, it's really, to me, it's just fast. I think it just gives you a better way to really understand yourself better. I know that through the coaching program that you and I went through, like my mindset was already set. Like I already knew like 5 years ago, I wanted to be a coach. I didn't know how I was going to do it initially, but I wanted to be a coach because I had this huge passion, and I still do, about wanting to help people.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of eerily things popping up in my social media that all of a sudden, boom, all right, maybe I should look in this, some more. And then I clicked on it, of course. One of those is obviously then how we got to, be introduced. So I think that like my mindset changed. I learned how to do meditation that I never even knew. I was taught one way of meditation, and now I'm like going, oh, but I like this meditation better. This one makes more sense.
Yeah.
And it actually it was given my sister and I a conversation about meditation, because she was huge about meditation. But her big thing always was, I can't ever calm down. And then, my mind is always racing and whatever. And of course, then I remember last September when we got to finally meet like in person at our conference that we were at, learning that that's fine. Yeah. That doesn't matter, that you don't want your brain to literally go silent. You want it to be thinking. And I was like, oh, and so I went back and I told my sister, hey, by the way, that's fine. But that, of course, is through coaching. We learned that we learned that technique through coaching. I think that's, it's a huge tool that I think that is going to become even more prevalent just because of just how the world is going and how things are going. I think people really need, especially with what I do with career coaching, I know the mindset is a huge thing for people right now, especially with me dealing with like the LGBTQ, plus community, so much marginalization. And with the destroying of DEI and stuff like that, that is really, sorry guys, you can't see this. Oh, that was amazing. Suzanne's cat is having a little too much fun.
It's getting to second base.
But I think that, I think there's struggles that everyone goes through, not even just LGBTQ plus. Obviously, you've dealt with, women who have, have had struggles. And I think that we all have that commonality that we're wanting to make sure that they get on, in the right mindset, in the right mind space, that they know that it isn't really about, when someone rejects them, really, it isn't always about us, and it's not about whoever they were with. It could be something completely random that just caused it to happen. And I think that one of my things I've learned is when you really focus on you, and you need to be doing things for you. Yep. With me, with jobs and helping people with finding jobs, you need to make sure you're going to where you're going to feel the best and when you can be your best self. And I know even looking for dating, like for when women are, you want to obviously come across as your best self. We all have bad days. I mean, we're human.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. But I think that taking a step back and realizing that, oh, we can be ourselves. We can, I guarantee you, because my partner and I he is one goofy person. But we clicked, and we've been together 11 years. So we did something right.
Yeah.
And we found the right, we have the goofiness, that we now, because we've been together so long, that half the time we don't even have to speak. I can just look at a facial expression of his and it makes me laugh, or vice versa. Like, and it's just like, that's the joy of, finding that right person, really, in my eyes. So now we're going to have some fun.
Oh.
Now we have questions that you didn't get to prepare for.
What the heck?
Well, I sure hope so. So I am going to ask you 3 questions. And I want you...
It's 3. Okay, sorry.
And I want you to say whatever comes in your mind first. Ooh, so I don't want you to have to really think about this a long time. Just really like a rapid fire question. So first question is, if you could coach any historical figure, who would it be and why?
That's really... Does that have to be a dead person?
No, they could be alive.
Okay. I have to think of people. Do I know anyone? Okay. Oh, golly. This is not so rapid fire if I can't think of literally anyone. This is taking me back to my high school trauma of being called on. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Historical. Does Taylor Swift count?
I mean, she's a pretty big figure.
She is making history. Okay, I literally just want to meet her. But, okay. But I mean, that's a good answer, right? Okay. Do you have any ideas, John?
No, I mean, I don't want to give away what others have said.
Yeah, I literally, this is gonna sound horrible, but I don't even know if I can name a historical figure. The only one I keep thinking about is Marie Antoinette, but I don't even know who that is. She just popped into my head. So that's
okay.
We're gonna go with
final
answer.
Okay, so if you could coach Taylor Swift, what would you? Why? Like, why would you?
Well, if she was in a good relationship now, I feel like there are some things there. I feel like I've learned a lot from her based on all of her songs, and now I feel like I know her as a human and a friend and a soul sister. But yeah, I feel like there are a few twisted little ends there that could be untwisted and allow her to find that person. However, maybe she's already done that because she has that guy.
This is true.
But she has that
Travis
guy.
Yeah.
Someone knows. Hopefully she.
Well, I know because I'm a Chiefs fan, so that's how I know.
That guy. Yeah.
No, I mean it would be interesting, but I think I don't know. It's kind of like with her, as well as like Kelly Clarkson. They're very well known about writing, and even Adele. They're very well known about writing about exes. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like, did you purposely have someone for a certain period of time so you could write your next album?
Taylor Swift would never do that.
I mean, I don't think she would. I mean, but some of her, I don't know, just reading a little bit about like some of her past exes, I almost feel in some ways, some of them were put into like in her, atmosphere for a reason.
Yeah, like they were her muses almost.
Yeah, I mean, And I think, I mean, yeah, I mean, I could be completely wrong, and they just, but there are times I think when you spend time with a person, you might think it was great, when you first met. Obviously, I know you deal with that with your clients, but that they're like, oh, well, I thought that person was great, and maybe not. You kind of learn. I mean, I've learned so much from my partner being with him for 11 years, so I know that there's stuff that I didn't know, early on.
Yeah.
Because I don't think everyone wants to share everything
Yeah.
with someone you meet, because you might scare them away, or they could be something as quick as like, oh, let's get married, something really spontaneous. So I think that I think she would be an interesting person to have, want to have a conversation with, just because she's probably not really even been asked those questions, because I've not seen those like that being asked of her before.
Yeah. We should
So
like totally bring her on the podcast and ask. And by we, I mean you. But I'll come with you. I'll be there in the background.
I
Yeah, no,
mean,
you're absolutely right. And it's so interesting because, especially when we start off with like this experience of, ooh, this person, you have this idea of what they and who they are. And then they also have the same of you. And,
mhm,
when I'm talking about with women, it's not just attraction, it's really becoming more of you to become more, right? And I think that's what coaching also is. It's like you're becoming more of yourself. You don't have all of these layers of masks or, you know, makeup on, or
yeah,
eyelashes or nails, which I mean, it's good to take care of yourself, don't get me wrong. But like there are all these layers in front of that. And then when those layers are starting to come off and you're getting to know each other, it can be really confusing because you're like, this is not who you originally were pretending to be,
yeah,
and we do this, unconsciously, subconsciously. We're like, well, oh, yeah, I forgot you actually don't know who I am. And as you get to know that person, and if they're not okay with it, or if your values don't truly align because you're pretending just to get that love, or they are, it can be a whole mess.
yeah. Oh, very much so. Like I have, unfortunately, not from me, but I definitely know people who've had examples where they thought they knew someone, and then a little bit later they were like, oh, that is not the person that I originally met. Um,
Pants.
I mean, not like serial killer or something like that, but just a little messed up. A little, there were things that were hidden.
Yeah,
Um, so what is one daily habit that you can't live without?
probably.
And it can be anything.
Oh, again. Okay. Brushing my teeth. I hate
I
it.
mean, it's not a bad, I mean, that's good.
Putting to my teeth, they're nice. Yeah, no, brushing my teeth. I hate the feeling of fuzzy teeth. I hate it. But otherwise, I would say probably, just doing one. I have a little menu of self-care items that I do, and they kind of switch off, during the day or
Hmm.
depending on what the day. I would say going out in nature would be one thing that I would do every day if I had all of the time freedom in the world, in one
Wouldn't
way
we
or the
all?
other.
Yeah. I love being outdoors. Oh my goodness.
So good.
Except it's cold and snowy here right now. So
Well, that's good, but it's
it's
a great
good. We
day.
need the water. We always need the moisture. So,
You do you.
but
But it was 60 degrees here today, so I'm good. California.
we'll be 60 this weekend. So, um, but so, okay. I mean, I agree with that. Like, there's definitely, my dad was an oral surgeon. He was huge on us brushing our teeth all the time. Like, I still remember as a kid him coming in and checking our teeth and making sure we were brushing. And I mean, it's obviously stuck with me because I haven't stopped doing it my entire life, just,
God.
and not because of him. It's the same thing. Like you just said, like, I don't, to feel like your teeth being dirty, it's just gross. Like the first, like when I get up first thing, I'm like, okay, I got to brush my teeth.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
then we can have a conversation.
My dad took the opposite approach and he said if you don't brush your teeth, all your teeth are gonna fall out. I'm like, oh. So he had dentures, so it was a pretty good warning sign. So
Yes, I would definitely say so. Yes. All right. Last question, kind of. If you had to describe your coaching style in 3 words, what would they be?
Integrative, fun, and that's it.
Nice. I
Yeah.
like that. Fun has been one that's brought up many times.
I mean, you've been talking to some pretty fun people, so
I do
Emily,
have to say I have, yeah.
and whoever else that I missed. Yeah, I mean, those are some fun people.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe it's just fun for us though, because we love coaching.
I mean, I would hope so. I mean, even though, I mean, I've had some very interesting conversations with not just coaches, and um, I didn't get to ask that question because they were not in our field. So I wanted to ask them some a little bit different questions because I can't ask them a coach how their coaching style is if they're not a coach.
That's true.
That doesn't really work very well. But that person did have some really good answers. So stay tuned, listeners. That episode will be out soon.
Ooh la la.
So this has been fun. I've actually been having a lot of fun. It's nice. It's nice to see you because we tend to catch ourselves very quickly if we have the opportunity during the week. We all have busy schedules, so but it's been really fun. I want to ask one question, last question for you, kind of your final thoughts. Um, Something to leave our audience with, like what one key piece of advice or actionable tip could you give our listeners?
Well, that is the best question. Um, I have so many. Okay, so I would say stay open and smile. No RBFs here, kids. Yeah. Stay open and smile. I think, so many women they feel, and people in their, feminine, they feel very hopeless. And love can change all of that in an instant, right? And
Oh,
and
yeah.
and really just keeping that belief that it is possible is going to make everything so much easier. Do that and really open body language, etc. Actionable.
Awesome. I like that. All
Important
right.
that
So
we forget to do so.
exactly. It is funny because I did, going back to go RBF years and years and years ago when I was trying to find someone. I remember people telling me that it looked like I had like an RBF. And it was just like, really? And because they were afraid to approach me. Of course, then they approached me later and they're like, oh, I don't know why I didn't approach you. You actually are really fun. And I was like going, see? Um, Personally, I was just really I was kind of checking the room. I was checking people, not checking people out, but checking people out, seeing how they interact with others is really what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was a coach in training, learning how people work,
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I think
many, many, many years ago.
the RBF is it's a hard one because I think a lot of us just do it unknowingly or we subconsciously do it to protect ourselves from awkward situations or having to shut someone down. And it's hard because when we have the RBF, we're not inviting anyone in. We don't look fun, right? Even if we are,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of us are fun and beautiful people underneath, but then this face is not giving any cues to the people nearby. And that is so important. Like, we don't just communicate verbally or with
Mm-hmm.
our words. We also use our tone and we use these my hand movements, right? We have that. And we have my eyes are surprised or all of these things really contribute
Yeah.
to that. And when you're fully present, feeling like good about yourself, and you're smiling and maybe you're like grooving with the room. I mean, that is so much more like, I want to go talk to
Yeah.
that person. And then maybe, you give someone a little bit of like, catch their gaze a bit and give them a smile. That's an invitation for them to come on over. And if we're not doing that, then there's no wonder why we're not getting approached.
This is true.
Yeah.
It's very true. Well, I think it's so powerful. The smile is very powerful. And I think when you actually smile, it also, I would say, you probably it makes us like feel more confident, I think, in ourselves. When we can actually be able to smile, and we, especially when we, like ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that also has to do a lot, if we don't like ourselves, just to put it, how is someone else going to like us? How is someone else going to fall in love with us?
Yeah.
Because until we accept ourselves for how we are or how we want to be, and go for that, then I would feel that it probably is a little bit more challenging to get to that point where you find the person to be able to date and to be with.
Absolutely. I was listening to a song earlier. I have no idea what it was, but it was talking about how like you did need to like unlock that little bit of you that was, you have to love yourself. You have to unlock that within yourself so then you can receive love from another person, or, and give love. And if you don't have that piece and you are in a relationship, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to sabotage it. It's going to be, just ultimately it's not going to work out, or you're going to be unhappy in that relationship because you're not happy yet. So it is the foundation for everything. Like, you first, you need to lead yourself first, and then you can kind of expand that circle to others. But that's just, we're the most important person. This relationship is the most important one that you have with yourself. So
100%. And every single coach has said that. It's all about you first. Every single one. It's like,
right.
we must be right. See, this is why you need to hire us.
Yeah.
So, Suzanne, this has been so much fun.
Oh, thank you, John. Thanks for having me. This has
You're
been
very
fun.
welcome. And, listeners, you can find Suzanne on Instagram. You can find her at Suzanne Jackson Coaching, correct?
That's right.
All right. Just want to make sure you give me the information. Just want to make sure I said it correct.
I also have a website, but it'll direct you to Instagram, but it's SuzanneJacksonCoaching.com. So feel free. It's SuzanneJacksonCoaching. Well.com. So it's not that, but
Awesome. And just so you know, listeners, it will be in the show notes. So you can find that information as well. If you don't remember while you're listening. So thank you again, seriously, so much. It's been so much fun. So I thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
Thanks,
next week, we're going to be talking something that I think kind of funny that we actually talked about this a little bit. It's going to be on mindset shifts that empower you to claim your space.
Oh my, yes.
So I think mindset is so important. So I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired, and ladies, ready to attract the love you've always dreamed of.
Boom, dog.
So remember that every step you take towards owning your story and your goals is a step towards a more fulfilling, empowering future. So if you've enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing and leaving a review. You can find me on Apple, iHeartRadio, and Spotify to date, soon to be on more. And, your support helps us, reach everyone, anyone and everyone, not just, LGBTQ plus professionals, but also anyone and everyone, because we want everyone to be able to thrive, be it finding the love of their life or finding that job, being your authentic self. I think authenticity runs with both of our coaching niches. So we always want everyone to be authentic.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're wanting to look for more guidance on your career journey, you can check out J&B Coaching LLC for resources, coaching, and more ways to unlock your potential. Details are in the show notes. So until next time, keep showing up, keep owning your path, and remember, you deserve a career or a life where you can truly be yourself. So stay proud, stay empowered, And we'll see you back here soon.